The philosophy when we started developing NBA Live 06 on the Xbox 360 was basically we wanted the game to look next gen, feel next gen, and play next gen.
The foul. Stackhouse uses his strength to get past the defender.
It starts with the detail on the players. It's the cloth animation, it's hair animation, it's muscle deformation, it's the incredible details on the players' faces, the different materials on the uniforms. Then it goes over the environments. We basically rebuilt every arena from scratch, working really closely with the NBA and seeing the detail in the arena, seeing even the detail of the individual wood planks, seeing all the LED strips in the arenas that work, seeing the jumbotrons and all sorts of different detail in the arenas. From the moment you turn on your console, we wanted this to feel different. So if you actually look what we ended up with, when you turn on the console, you see your sort of familiar legal screens, but from the moment after you press start after the title screen, it feels completely different because we drop you right into the game. We created a new practice environment, and that's basically how the game opens. You're in there with Dwayne Wade by default, and you can just play around in that environment. You can work on your freestyle moves, or you can just throw down some dunks. You can actually bring in additional players into that as well. So you can play with up to 4 players in that environment. We keep track of the score, so it's a lot of fun to just play around in there, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 1-on-3, or however way you want to mix it up. When you're in the practice environment and you want to go to create player, instead of going just to a series of menu screens, we actually teleport the player from the spot that he's standing on right now in the practice gym, and you're modifying the player, or you're creating your player right in that environment. We have a lot of different create player pockets, I almost want to say. So there's just a look of the player, so you can customize obviously things like height, weight, all his statistics like name, those kind of things. But then you can change the eyebrows, sort of like if they're tilted or not. You can put facial hair on. You can put all sorts of bands and braces basically onto each arm, each leg. You can put logos on, so you can create a blue armband, and then slap a Dallas Mavericks logo on, or you can slap an NBA logo on if you want. There's a lot of subtle things in gameplay. There's a lot of big things. There's just the amount of animations that we have in there. It's roughly 4 to 5 times the amount of animations that we used to have in the current gen game. We completely took away, we completely changed the way how we're dealing with collisions, so it's now all based on real physics. So you see that people can even the arms, you can mangle and you can drag people along, which is actually pretty cool. But not only is it cool to look at, but it actually, I think, changes the way how the game plays. Like it's a complete different feeling now how you play the game when you're in the post, for example. We put a real big emphasis on having this play more like the simulation type product. Fatigue is on, for example, so you have to really watch your players. If they get tired, you got to swap them out. You got to really use your entire team, not only your starters. We changed the quarter length to 8 minutes by default, so when you go in and play a game, like be it a play now game or a season game, at the end of the game you actually get stats and a score that is pretty much what a real life 12-minute game is. We want every player in the game to play exactly like that player in real life. The superstar moves, while we don't have the button combinations, we still have the majority of the freestyle superstar moves in the game, and the people that you would expect to have those moves in real life, they also have them in the game, and only those players. So Steve Nash still has all his fancy passes, whereas another point guard that might play a very, very subtle game won't have all those flashy passes. We captured a lot of signature free throw routines, so you see Steve Nash do his routine, you see Shaq, you actually see Shaq shoot the way Shaq usually shoots in real life. The wee folk, as we like to call it. Yes, the little people. So that it's actually a lot of fun to play. It's something that accidentally sort of happened during the development process. We actually had a bug somewhere, I don't know, a couple months ago, where all the players were all of a sudden 4 feet tall, and was like, we had so much fun playing with that because they still retained all the attributes, so they can still jump and dunk and can actually run around really fast, which is really cool. So we thought, you know what, this is so much fun, let's just keep it in as a little Easter egg for people to discover. It was really important for us that we didn't just want to port the game and give you something that is essentially the same game, it just looks better, but we really wanted it to be completely different, and we wanted it so that when you bought the game, that was your justification why you just bought the Xbox 360.